Hey everyone, BioFan here with another in-depth trailer analysis for Mass Effect Andromeda. As usual with my analysis videos, we'll be focusing on things you may have missed from the trailer. If you've yet to watch the new 5-minute long gameplay trailer, be sure to do so now, and then come right on back. I'll still be here. Okay, let's get going then, shall we? Early on in the trailer, we see Ryder and Liam on what is revealed in recent Game Informer coverage to be Habitat 7, the potential life-supporting planet that the human ARC ship, Hyperion, is charged with investigating. As detailed in a recent PlayStation Magazine article, the prologue for Mass Effect Andromeda takes place on Habitat 7 as Ryder and Liam crash land, or better yet, fall down, to its surface and struggle to make their way through hordes of Ket alien enemies to find shelter. We then get a number of pretty environmental shots, the first being a canyony desert planet with red sand, hopefully not that kind of red sand, with a colony or outpost of sorts. It seems like a pretty important location, being that the Tempest is parked right in the middle of it. We then see some lava, followed by a rainy environment with buildings, which resembles this clip from the N7-Day trailer. The next is a desert planet with pretty trees and man-made structures. Judging from the celestial body nearby, it's this planet featured in the N7-Day trailer, possibly Eladin. Next up is my favorite environment so far, a bioluminescent forest with a red planet close by. Judging from the overall purpley color tones, I'm wondering if it shares any relation with this piece of concept art. And lastly, a marshy valley with this man-made structure here. The important thing from these shots, which most of them have in common, is this structure, or structures with a similar look and greenish-bluish glow. I think these are probably Remnant Vault entrances, or at least related to the Remnant in some way, since they're big on the whole glowing colors thing. Given the bioluminescent flora of this planet, I wonder if the underground vault shown in the Sony gameplay footage is on this planet, since it too had bioluminescent flora. Just a thought. While it's hard to make out amongst all the brush, there also appears to be some kind of building or man-made structure over here as well. This next bit shows a little bit of how the galaxy map will work, but know that while all of this is in-engine, some angles and visual aspects have been changed up from the game for the purposes of the trailer. This system is called Gavorkum, and it appears we'll have a percentile to help keep track of our progress in the systems. The planet shown here is Kadara, with a mission titled M4, Hunting for the Archon. Note that this Archon is spelled differently from the Archon in Archon Initiative. After selecting Kadara as a destination, there's a brief animation followed by an actual trip to the planet. However, I'm not sure if we actually see Kadara in this particular bit of the trailer, as the shot moves to a planet with a nearby wormhole or some kind of dark celestial body thing. It's not a black hole. Black holes, contrary to what their name suggests, are actually very bright. Just thought I'd point out that little difference. Kadara is the setting for most of the trailer, however. Just note that trailers often have scenes stitched together from all sorts of places in the game to look related when they're not. So scenes may not play out in game like they do in trailers. We then land at the Kadara Port. Kadara is full of outlaw factions which constantly can be found fighting against each other according to the Mass Effect website. There also appears to be one of these tied down balloony things that were present from the valley environment from earlier. Our female Turian squad mate, Vetra, and male Krogan squad mate, Drac, come along with Ryder. Note that Vetra has some kind of symbol or logo on her chest. Judging from her holographic eye covering, I'd say she knows a thing or two about tech, though her outfit is giving me stealth vibes. Drac seems to have a lot of grenades, which may or may not reflect his combat style. The signs all around the marketplace have alien characters, and the banners up top here have some kind of symbol on them. I wonder if this symbol relates to the factions we've been hearing about here and there. Considering several Krogan are all wearing the same blue armor, and the banners are blue, I'm thinking that armor is representative of this faction. You know what? For now, let's just call them the Blue Man Group. Drac appears to have some leathery bits on his armor and pieces of bone strapped to his hump. The dialogue in this scene is particularly juicy. Upon approaching the marketplace, Drac mentions that the people of the settlement were kicked off the ship, and Ryder mentions that they left behind a trail of bodies. We know from the list of Mass Effect Andromeda novels being published by Titan Books that there was an uprising on the Nexus. I'm wondering if the ship Drac is referring to is the Nexus, and therefore if this is the result of that uprising. If so, what drove them to rebel in the first place? The robotic voice we hear relaying Ryder information is called Sam. Sam details that Sloane Kelly was previously the head of Nexus Security and served in the Alliance military before that, but was involved in multiple altercations with officers. Let's also note that Ryder's ponytail moves. I'm hoping this is a good sign for the quality of hair options in the game in general. There's shuttles moving to and from the area up above, as well as several ships up in the sky. As Ryder makes her way down the walkway, an Asari is down in the bottom right corner. While her armor isn't consistent of what we've seen of PB so far, her coloring and facial marking around the eyes does. However, there's an Asari in the area, even more hidden, who also has this same around the eyes slash thing. I'm wondering if this could indicate BB is a part of a certain faction or group of some sort that all have this kind of facial marking thing. In addition to Krogan, Turians, Asari, and humans, there's a few new aliens we haven't seen before, at least in good detail. Their leg and foot shape as well as clothing shape are the same, though there's some differences in color for both cloth and their heads. They appear similar to the vague shapes we saw in the End 7-Day trailer. Their leg bend is similar to the Ket, but their skin texture and physicality differ significantly. This settlement appears to have remnant artifacts, or is using remnant technology judging from the glow. As Ryder enters the marketplace, we see this icon that was also shown when selecting Kadara. I'm pretty confident that it serves as a quest marker, or at least a means of noting important things. There's a navigation bar up at the top that serves as a compass. It appears to glow when we're near the target. The next scene takes place inside the Blue Man Group building, judging from the falling banners and the Krogan and Turian bodyguard armor color. The Turian bodyguard also has the Blue Man Group symbol on the chest of his armor. The Krogan bodyguard is holding an M8 Avenger rifle, while the Turian and Sloane have Carnifex pistols. The Rieger carbine is also a gun that Ryder can carry. It is of Quarian origin, but I don't believe that necessarily hints that Quarians are in the game. BioWare has transferred weapons of even heavier lore significance across games before. Sloane Kelly sounds as if she's voiced by Indira Varma, Vivian's voice actress in Dragon Age Inquisition. Here's some sound clips for comparison.
What brings a Pathfinder to our humble port?
You know as well as I how far the Inquisition's influence has spread, and how desperate the Grand Clerics have become.
Any bells? What's he to you? And don't lie to me.
Ryder mentions she's looking for a male character by the name of Ven Terev. Considering our mission on Kadara was to hunt the Archon, I'm guessing that's him. This scene is advantageous in that we see all possible types of dialogue options. Heart, head, professional, casual, and the narrative action interrupts as well when Ryder disarms the Turian bodyguard. There's another Turian present in the room, only visible when Ryder performs the disarm. The scene then transitions to a different point in the game, in which we're driving the Nomad. Judging from the look of the rock, red flora, and the Blue Man Group banner inside the cave, I'd say we're still on the same planet. There's also this menu here which showcases the mining computer, which I'm assuming it tells you how many collectible materials are nearby. This capsule here to the side is seen twice in the trailer, and also in the first Andromeda Initiative orientation video, in which it's shown being involved with establishing outposts, which serve similar to campsites in Dragon Age Inquisition. According to the recent Mass Effect Andromeda website's description, as Pathfinder you'll be able to call down forward stations to change up your weapon loadout, alter squad composition, fast travel to other locations, and discover nearby resources and details about surrounding regions. The compass up top also may indicate if there are enemies nearby. We also pass by what I think is some kind of water filtration and harvesting system, judging from the piping. Judging from the glow, I'm guessing this towering structure is an entrance to a remnant vault, perhaps. Ryder's scanner reveals the name of a new alien race, the Angarans. Fun fact, and probably related to their name, Angara is a type of Russian space rocket that is still used and being further developed today. Considering this and that the surname Ryder is a reference to Sally Ride, the first American woman in space, I'm sure there will be more common-day space exploration references to come. There are a few voices communicating with Ryder over the comm, one of which is named Reyes. BioWare lead designer Ian Fraser insinuated that Reyes was written by BioWare Austin writer Courtney Woods. Reyes apparently had a theory that either a race, or more likely group by the name of Rokar, were involved in this Krogan's murder. Considering the Krogan is wearing the Blue Man Group armor, I'd say the Rokar are probably their enemies. The footprints resemble many foot shapes, so I wouldn't say there's anything particularly specific about them. The scanner has 3 different symbols with counts next to them. Considering that the first one is for the Andromeda Initiative, I'm wondering if the JEC and whatever that third one is supposed to represent are organizations or groups. Despite there not being metagel in Mass Effect Andromeda, according to BioWare creative director Mac Walters, there still appears to be medical containers. This is what one kind of enemy shuttle looks like, I suppose. I'm thinking this area is a settlement because there's that big settling Kadara over in the corner as we approach, in which case the settlement is under attack by raiders and also Remnant, which just further solidifies the nearby tower structure being a Remnant vault. Alternatively, it's a raider base of some sorts who pissed off the Remnant. The white icon on the right of the compass seems to denote the vault, whereas the Nomad icon seems to denote the settlement, judging from the little down arrow as we approach. Maybe you can also repair the Nomad at settlements. Just a thought. There's also little tip boxes that pop up to the side. Enemies appear to have layers on their health bar curves, probably for HP and shield or barriers and whatnot. Now, let's go through the different enemy types. The Remnant have Assembler and Nullifier, while the Raiders have a regular old Raider, Anarchist, Sharpshooter, Adhi, which seems to be the Andromeda version of a Varen. There are also Wild Ahi later on in the trailer, so the Raiders probably catch and train them, part of which must involve strapping whatever that is to their heads because the Wild ones don't have them. And I assume the Hydra-mechs also belong to the Raiders. The Sharpshooter looks possibly human, while the Anarchist and Raider appear to be Turian. The Raider up in the tall structure appears to be a member of that new race. There's a cave near the settlement with something orange and glowing inside. Remnant can flash a red color as well. This may be a color they display when hostile or low in health, as opposed to their regular green. Ryder takes one down who was flashing red pretty easily, so I'm leaning toward low health. There appear to be crates to loot health booster and ammo. The top number on the left side shows your ammo count, and the icon above it displays what modification that ammo has. In this case, it's Incendiary. On the right side is available abilities, each with their own individual cooldowns. I doubt we'll be limited to 3 though. Also, using abilities while mid-jetpack jump or hover looks awesome. As before, there are menu options for guns, of which I'm assuming that blank space is indicating an empty weapon slot. There is now also ammo types which you can switch between. I'm thinking the 3 locked spaces are abilities and BioWare just doesn't want to show them off quite yet. These little icons represent your squad mates. Given the hair, I think it's now officially official that Cora is human. Liam's supposedly great hairstyle, according to Bioware producer Mike Gamble, may also be reflected in his icon. It sorta kinda looks like he has tall spiky hair and goggles? Kinda like this, maybe? I was talking with my good friend and fellow YouTuber, Ability Drain, and she presented a brilliant theory to me on why we may not have seen these two faces yet. What if Liam and Cora's faces are modeled after their voice actors, like Miranda in Mass Effect 2 and 3? This could be very easily why we haven't seen their faces yet, but they've been shown constantly. Some people have thought it's because they're still working on facial animation, but I don't think that's enough for even the still pictures. Just food for thought. I think it's safe to assume the red skull icon is for a fallen squad mate. We see another remnant vault during the scene where the supposed settlement pod lands into a hologram of the settlement pod. I'm assuming the hologram denotes a good location, and the pod sends down supplies to build the settlements? There are 4 armor slots: helmet, chest, legs, and arms. Up top, from left to right, you can see how much XP you need to level up, your item carrying capacity, the amount of credits you have, and then there's something to do with leveling up the Nexus. I'm not sure what this could unlock, but it could be similar to how we were able to level up the Inquisition in Dragon Age, unlocking perks as we level up the organization. Very good news in that it appears this helmet, when the glass portion is transparent, automatically displays a buzz cut on whoever wears it. Which means all of the characters we've seen previously wearing it may not actually have buzz cuts, and thus another helpful bonus for there being good hair options in Mass Effect Andromeda's character creator. The chest slot is the most visually impactful, it seems. Also note that we can add modifications to armor pieces, probably in a similar manner to Dragon Age Inquisition's crafting system, I strongly suspect at this point. We've seen this exact armor a long time ago, way back at San Diego Comic-Con in 2014. And a similar version even further back during the first few conceptual images of Andromeda. In the development process, we can see the writers have not yet completed the item descriptions in the game, but we're able to see bonuses for each armor piece. This area here looks almost reminiscent of this concept art-ish scene from the E3 trailer from years ago. It also appears we'll be collecting and using minerals in a similar fashion to Dragon Age Inquisition. This creature, a fiend, is related to the creature I've been calling a space bear that we've been seeing a few times in the trailers. Its body shape and movements are the same, but they differ in outer texture. I'm just gonna keep calling them space bears though, for sentimental reasons. It appears space bears may have blue-colored blood. There's an ability to send out an assault turret to assist us in combat. There also seems to be some kind of sidestep function with the jetpack. The next clip shows part of Vetra's loyalty mission, which involves getting some colonists to a safe place. We have to take out raider guards in the process, both presumably human and Turian. Later on, we'll have to kill a space bear and clear out the menagerie. A menagerie is a kind of, zoo? Animals are kept there for the purpose of being on display. We can even see a cage with a red blob thing in it. A few things about this next scene. There's a remnant type called Observer, we're in the lava environment from earlier, and from the looks of things, we're headed towards the entrance to a remnant vault. Also note that Ryder is wearing the Deep Space Explorer armor acquired via pre-order. The quest we're on involves investigating PB's mysterious remnant signal. She's in the party, so I don't think this is her acquisition quest. It also doesn't mention that it's her personal quest, so I'm thinking this is main story content right here, folks. Combat drones have also made a return. Near the end of the trailer, it's revealed that we'll be extending a Remnant antenna and holding off Remnant while a hack is in process. I'm assuming this will work similarly to hacks in Mass Effect 3, where one of your squad mates is occupied with the hack and the rest of you have to hold off the waves of enemies. Not sure where this next bit takes place, but there appears to be some remnant glow pattern embedded in the structure and scattered on the ground. There's also lights. Curious. There's just something about the body language in this scene that makes me think Ryder and Liam are getting up to a little something. We do know Andromeda will have more romance options than any Mass Effect game before, so anyone is a pretty safe guess at being a romance option at this point. The next scene takes us back to the prologue on Habitat 7. Ryder and Liam are coming up upon what is probably the ruins of their crashed shuttle. Off in the distance appears to be a remnant vault. Above it is blue wispy energy stuff, similar to this exact shot in the End 7-Day trailer featuring a cat. The next scene takes us to the scorching desert planet of Eladin. We're taking out an outcast sharpshooter at some kind of structure, while on our way to meet up with a Krogan contact at some place called Paradise. According to Game Informer, Drax's personal mission involves tracking down a stolen Krogan colony ship on Eladin. So this could be the lead-up to that. I'm not sure if Outcasts are a different faction or just a fancy name for Eladin raiders. We also see an enemy type called Pariah at the same planet, judging from the background. So at the very least, there appears to be a common theme here with the names. At the later Eladin raider encounter, near the end of the trailer, we're taking over an enemy base, which I think will likely work out to be similar to taking over enemy keeps in Dragon Age Inquisition. Next are some shots of Ryder fighting against Ket with a cool ninja-style blade attack. We also get to see a hammer, which was also detailed in the Game Informer coverage. According to BioWare producer Mike Gamble, it's a Krogan hammer. Ket's enemy types include Anointed and Chosen. The Anointed Ket appears to have a larger head structure than the Chosen. This enemy Ket here appears to be wearing lighter clothy armor and casting some kind of orange energy attack. The information for this mission, where we take down an anarchist, likely refers to the fact that when departing for the Andromeda galaxy prior to the beginning of Mass Effect 3, the Krogan genophage had yet to be cured. So, this quest that involves securing Krogan transport titled A Future for Our People likely refers to the track in Mass Effect 3 titled A Future for the Krogan. Therefore, I'm guessing this quest may somehow involve the issue of Krogan infertility. We'll see. One last thing that ties a few of these theories together. Part of settling Kadara means stabilizing its environment and addressing the rivalry between the outcasts and the collective. So maybe the outcast raider on Eladin is actually a part of that faction. The Blue Man group could very likely be the collective, but we'll see in time. I'm currently putting together a gigantic news update video covering every little bit of information from November and early December. There's a lot to go over, so stay tuned. What did you notice? What was your favorite thing from the trailer? Tell me all about it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And while you're down there, be sure to attack that like button and share this video with your friends, family, random strangers. It's all good. For more Mass Effect Andromeda and BioWare related videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel by clicking the big red subscribe bar up at the top of the screen. For instant news coverage of BioWare games, feel free to follow me on Twitter and other forms of social media, links to which can be found down in the video description. If you like my videos and would like to help support my channel and improve its quality, head on over to my Patreon page to donate. For more information about my Patreon page and the donation process, there's a video here on the screen with all of that as well.